Okay, this is a follow-up to yesterday's lesson. Yesterday's lesson, which you can look up and watch if you want to, is on completing the square when you have to factor something out. So here's a typical problem in general form, and here is that problem when it gets to vertex form. And this is not the right answer, by the way. This is just an example of vertex form. I want you to figure out what is the right answer here for vertex form by completing the square. Now, I know kids from yesterday that were here yesterday, weren't taking the plan test, probably know what to do to start. So I'm going to call on some of them and get opinions. All right, so let's start over here with Miss OR. Do you know how to start all of these? Excellent. You move the 3 over. Everybody go ahead and do that. If you want to do it on your iPad, you probably use the little scissors tool, grab it, move it over. Okay? Next. Come on, somebody from yesterday volunteer. Yes? Awesome. Take the 2 out of those 2. So you take the 2 out, you factor it out, just the 2. I know there's an x in both of them, but don't factor that out. X squared plus 8x. Now notice, I did not take anything out of the 3, and a lot of people are really annoyed by that because in the past you've always taken a 2 out of this and that, but you don't have to. There's no math rule that says you have to. You can factor just 2 things if you want, and I'm still leaving that 3 alone at the end. All right, now what? Yes, ma'am. Half and square, awesome. So half of 8 is 4. 4 squared is 16. Plus 16 and minus 16. Okay, yes? Okay, but before we do that, you're right, we're going to do that, but before we do that, yes? Yes, now this is confusing for a lot of people because there's a 2 here that's going to multiply by this 16. These 16s are supposed to cancel each other. So that means this 2 needs to also be scaled up and multiplied by 2. And that's a really easy step to forget. Okay, now you want to continue? Ms. G? Tell me what to do now. So what does it factor to? This part right here. X plus 4 and x plus 4. Which, can you put those together? Since they are a perfect square, x plus 4 and x plus 4 can be put together. And we say x plus 4 squared. Okay, and then the last part is just this little part. Again, the 2 that's very easy to forget, times the negative 16 makes negative 32, minus 3 makes negative 35. And so there we have it. There is our vertex form. I know the vertex would be at negative 4, comma, negative 35. I also know it has a stretch factor of 2. And I have completed the square. And then why are we doing it? For the vertex. Completing the square for the vertex. Because now I can get my vertex out of here so easy. Oh, by the way, then, would everybody please write down what you think the axis of symmetry is? Yep, yep. Yep, 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 yep. It needs a letter. Yep. It needs like an X or a Y, and I don't want to tell you which one. Yep. That's the point. That's the vertex. But the axis of symmetry is a line. So it needs a little tiny equation. Yes. 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 No, you get your axis wrong. It's much simpler than that. The axis of symmetry, all you got to do is say it's this number. X equals negative 4. That's it. Because you get that the vertex is the spot where the parabola has to have its line of symmetry going right through that vertex. So you just grab the x of the vertex. That's it. All right. So last thing, is this thing a parabola that would have a minimum or a parabola that would have a maximum? Minimum. Because if you draw it, would you agree it's a right side up parabola? It's like one of these parabolas. It hasn't been flipped, right? So then it's got a low spot in it, and that's called a minimum. All right. So I think we've covered everything that you need to know, but that was really quick. I want to do one more as like a little mini test, okay? So for this one, do you remember the instant response app you have on your iPad? We made it a long time ago. We rarely use it, but I'd like you to find it right now. Yeah, all it is a button that we made. Remember I had you cluster your math buttons all into one spot? And it brings you to, you probably have to log into Google once you touch it. But I want you to enter the answer for this one on your instant response. If you're having trouble finding it, ask the kid next to you because they can show you what it looks like. Yes? Who else has also lost the link because of your iPad technical issues? All right, cool. Tell them where it is. Yep, so not the I squared one, but the one that has my big giant head on it. Okay, and then where is it in there?
Right on the top.
Okay, top of that page, you'll find the link. And by the way, when you're in there, open it in Safari and then do a add to home page, and that'll get it in there. Derosha, did you follow that too? Okay, good. All right, so hopefully you got that instant response app. Let's just for a little trial run on it, why don't you type how you think a person would spell delicious. See if you know how to spell a mildly complicated word. All right, I'm going to shut down the names so that nobody can see those, but here will be our list of delicious. D-E-L-I-C-I-O-U-S. Almost everybody got it. Oh, nice. Yeah, I think that was on purpose. Although I'm not, I don't know. Some people's spelling is terrible. How about this? Tell me, does it autocorrect you? Does it like tell you if your spelling is wrong in Google Forms? Oh, boo. Okay, fine. I won't do the spelling one next time. At least I know that this is working. Page is there. Okay, good. So now, I would like you to try this problem. Y equals negative 2x squared minus 40x plus 1. Please find that answer. And I know when you're typing it in, you're going to have to say x squared. Remember, you go x caret 2 for x squared. Okay? And when it's all said and done, yes, it's a y equals. So you should have that at the beginning of your equation. And you are trying to do this so that you could find the vertex, but what I want is not the vertex. What I want is vertex form. I'll pause for a second while you try that. Okay, here's answers that you guys have submitted online, and let's kind of just get a feeling for if there's some similarities between them, common maybe mistakes or. All right. That one compared to, for instance, that one. They're very similar, but what's one got different than the other? Can't read it from there? Okay. One of them's got a plus 10 in the parentheses, one's got a minus 10 in the parentheses. All right, and that's a valid point. I think there's a way to increase the size here. I'm going to use something I almost never use, but There's a zoom option on here. Not working. There we go. Does that make it big enough? Okay. So one's got plus 10, one's got minus 10. Okay. Look at this. We got 201, 201, 201, and this one's got 199. Okay. That last number is a very common mistake. A lot of these have negative 2's in front. One of them's got a positive 2. Okay, so those are the common mistakes. So let's figure out what the actual best answer was here. I think I could just go like this to get it back to normal size. And clear the ink off, and then I'll go to this. You should have started by moving the plus 1 over. Now I want to do this tag team. So tag team means like you do part and then you tag off with the next person, then they have to take it from there. So Mr. B, tell me what to do next. Tell me how to do that. All right. Hand it off to the next person. You pick him. He's been tagged. Right. So you did, what were you doing to this 20 to get that? Okay. Half of it's 10, square it's 100. Awesome. Now what? Okay, tag off next person. There you go. This needs to go here, and then we can factor it. Okay. Hand it off to the next person. Okay. Tell me what to get. X plus 10 quantity squared. Awesome. And then hand it off to one last person, but it has to be a girl because it's been all guys so far. You've been tagged. Does that become negative or positive 200? Okay, plus 1 makes 201. Raise your hand if you had that right. Okay, awesome. And if you didn't, I hope you see where your mistake was. It's really easy, little things. Like people forgot this negative, people forgot and made that negative, and people messed this up because they were thinking, I think, that you subtract the 200 minus the 1, but you don't. Okay. So that is about as tough as they could possibly be. And your homework for tonight is what I assigned the other kids yesterday. So if you were one of the kids that was here yesterday, I hope you did your homework, then you're good. So that's a little review for today, and I'll post this. And there's another one there, so if you feel like, well, I still really get this because you were gone yesterday, go watch the video that I made yesterday. It sums it up. Okay.